Okay, gonna prune a wine grape plant. Been pruning apples for the last 2.5 months and haven't gotten any wine grapes yet. We usually get to those last because they push last. This is a wine grape plant. This plant happens to be Merlot. We've got Merlot and Cab Sauv and Chardonnay and Carmenere and a couple other varieties. But we're going to go ahead and prune this, and we're going to prune it assuming that we're looking for, you know, a mid-quality wine in the end. So we don't want to leave a lot of fruit on here. We're gonna prune these pretty tight. My plan for this, I want to have somewhere between 30 and 35 fruit buds on this plant after I'm finished pruning it. We have a formula for that, a spreadsheet that we can kind of enter that into, and it will tell us how many tons per acre we're looking for at the end of this. So on a field like this, I'm looking for something around 3.5 to 5 tons of fruit per acre at the end of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and just prune this. And we talk about 2-bud pruning in the apples, and I'm going to 2-bud prune this plant here. But there are some details that I want to point out as we go along the way. The first thing that we want to establish is we always want to try to keep everything as close to the cordon as possible. So this is the trunk, and where this comes up and splits off, this is called the cordon. This is the base of the cordon. We have everything coming up off of the cordon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right over here, and I'm going to go to 1 bud, and you get right in there and have a look at that. There's 1 bud, and there's 2 buds. There's actually a 3rd bud. There's a basal bud called the basal bud down here at the end. I don't generally count that bud when it comes to pruning. I'm going to go 2 buds above the basal bud. So there's basal buds down here. You can see it there, right down in there. If you get down in there, you can see that basal bud. I'm not going to count that. I'm going to count 1 bud, 2 bud, and I'm going to cut that off about a 1/2 inch above that. I'm going to go right down here. Now, this is what we call an elkhorn. If you look at this, we call that an elkhorn. That's when you get a spur coming up here and it gets far away from the cordon and they start breaking away from that. The golden rule for wine grape pruning is always take everything back as close to the cordon as you possibly can. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this and go to this, 2 buds, because I want what is closest to the cordon. Same thing here. We've kind of lost control of this plant here, and it just keeps moving farther and farther out. The tendency is to keep pruning it here, but we don't want to do that. We want to keep moving that back down toward the cordon. So I'm going to remove that and take the closest to the cordon, 1, 2 buds. Same thing, elkhorn right here. We're going to find what's closest to the cordon. In this case, I have a nice bud right over here, right down by the wire. So I'm going to go to that. 2 buds, 2 buds, 2 buds. Here's another elkhorn coming off. This spur here is closest to the cordon, so I'm going to remove that right there and go 1, 2 buds. I'm going to cut it right there. Remove that, get it out of my way here so we can see. 1, 2 buds. Closest to the cordon is going to be this guy right here. So I'm going to remove that. 1, 2 buds. 2 buds. 2 buds. Here we go. I'm going to remove that. I have 3 spurs coming off of here all together, and I have plenty of positions here. I like to keep my positions about a fist apart. We start getting farther away than that, we're losing fruiting positions. So we want to try to maintain that. But if we have 1, 2, 3, 4 positions here, it enables us to be a little more picky and maybe to start over again and get something fresh going in here. So I am going to remove that old spur that's starting to turn into an elkhorn. And I'm going to take this one here that's nice and close to the cordon. 2 buds, 2 buds. Now I'm getting off into the other plant here, but you can see as you look down along this now, everything is 2-budded, and we've tried to bring that back down closer to the cordon. There you go, wine grape pruning and Merlot grapes here in Washington State. I'm Rod the Tree Fruit Guy.